My friends, how are you? It's wonderful to see you for yet another day. In a recent video, I said something very inflammatory, and I decided I'm going to take the opportunity to really clarify those statements because I think it's actually a really important video, and we're going to face that problem sort of head on today. So the thing I said in a video recently was that I viewed a vote by a grown man for Donald Trump to be one of the weakest things I've ever seen a grown man do. Oh yeah, that's spicy, isn't it? So we're going to get into that. I think it'll be a fun topic to talk about. And keep in mind, I draw my conclusions from a lot of my life experiences, so there may be overlap in what I'm talking about, things I've already told you guys, but it's necessary to get my point across. So definitely we're going to talk about why I view a vote for Donald Trump as being something that a weak-minded or a weak man might do. So we'll get into that. I just want to take a second and thank you guys so much for all the support we've gotten on the channel. I am so happy that so many people have tuned in to listen to this grumpy, goofy redneck complain about all the things that he sees are wrong with the world. And I appreciate some of you giving me the opportunity to be your emotional support redneck. We're all in this together, my friends. We'll get it done. So just want to let you know, I appreciate all the support. The best way to help the channel grow is, of course, to share it on your social media. Let people know you like what's going on over here, and that helps a lot. And real quick, want to thank all the channel members. I have a tendency of going off the fucking rails over here, and then YouTube hits me with the dreaded yellow limited monetization thing. So you guys are definitely helping the cause by grabbing those channel memberships. Thank you. I just wanted to get through that. So I said a crazy thing, and I really want to just go straight at that thing and talk about why I view things this way. I meant it when I said that I viewed a grown man that voted for Donald Trump, I view that as one of the weakest things he's ever done in his life. And the reason I say that, well, hell, my friends, we're about to get into that. For one, we need to start with Donald Trump, the problem, the actual problem, and we need to understand who he is as a person. Donald Trump is the weakest, whiniest little bitch I've ever seen in my life. Look at this guy. All he does is talk about what a victim he is. Donald Trump has never done anything wrong in his life, right? Everything just happens to him, and he's such a nice guy, and everyone's so mean and nasty to him, and anytime somebody talks about the bullshit that he does or how he fails to manage a pandemic or whatever it is that old Donald Trump is up to, he talks about how it's fake news and everybody's just being mean to him. This is something I've heard you guys say in the comments that is a common trait, I guess, according to some commenters, of a dictator or a cult leader always being the victim so that they can get sympathy from the people that follow them, right? That's what I've heard from you guys. And that is exactly who Donald Trump is. The perpetual victim. Everybody's always doing something to him. And he's just overall a very weak person. I mean, for one, draft dodger. I thought we were Americans, my friends. I registered for the draft, never got called to go. Hasn't been a draft since I've been alive. But my 18th birthday, first thing I did that morning when I got up was I registered for the draft because it's my duty, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. So I went and did it. And that was around the time, of course, that George W. Bush was talking about weapons of mass destruction over in Iraq. We went to war again. And I don't know that the threat was entirely there, but there was a possibility that it could have happened. No fear, my friends. I just went and did it. And Donald Trump just didn't have it in him. He had daddy's money to take care of him, and he was able to get out of the draft. So we've got all those things about Donald Trump. Constantly the victim, draft dodger, blames everyone else, never takes any accountability whatsoever for his actions. Whatever it is, it's Joe Biden's fault. It's Barack Obama's fault. It doesn't matter. It's never, ever his fault. He'll throw his own, people on his side under the bus to save his ass and blame someone else all the time. These are all traits of a very weak person. And this is where it starts to relate to me and how I understand things and how I saw the very people that raised me, right? They taught me about masculinity, what it means to take care of your family, what it means to stand up for what you believe in, right? All these things, they taught me all of them, and then they completely turned their back on every one of those things. So I kind of forgot what I was saying, so I'm looking for filler words right now. But Donald Trump, obviously a very weak person. The people I grew up with, that's what I was talking about. It takes me a minute, but I'll get there, my friends. The people I grew up with from the country, right, were all about standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in. They were proud to be Americans, and generous. They preach generosity, right? The old, we'll give our shirt off our own backs to anyone around us. We ain't giving shirts now. We'll come take your fucking shirt because you got a nicer shirt than me, and I ain't real fucking happy about it. That's the way we act now. Not me, but that's the way the people where I'm from act now, right? They taught us all these things, right? I know a lot of you are from rural America also. We were raised with all these fucking values of who we're supposed to be, right? And it saddens me to see every bit of that go out the fucking window for Donald Trump. And I want to explain through my eyes as a blue-collar worker for most of my life. I've done the white-collar shit too. Trust me, I've been in a few cubicles in my day. You wouldn't know it by looking at me. I don't look real professional, do I? And trust me, I don't clean up well, all right? I was always out of place in those cubicles. And, oh, we got a meeting today. Don't you want to go to the meeting? Fuck no, I don't want to go to the meeting. That's not the point, though, all right? Anyways, when Donald Trump first announced he was running for president, rural America and blue-collar America responded the exact right way. They said, that rich punk from fucking New York City, he don't understand anything about our way of life. He doesn't know anything about us, and we don't give a shit about him. Spoiled brat, hasn't ever worked a day in his life. He doesn't know what it's like to go out there, put in a 40-hour work week, barely get by, figure out how to pay the bills. He don't know a fucking thing about that, and we got no use for him, right? Donald Trump, in my opinion, did a very specific thing that caught their attention. Now, you guys can call it whatever you want. You can call it hate. That's a good thing to say. That's fine. That's acceptable. He tapped into their hate. I see that. I even agree with that point, but I do also happen to see it just a little bit different. The first thing Donald Trump did was pick on a group that wasn't going to be able to fight back because they've been a marginalized group in America for a very long time, if not through all of American history, and that was the people of Mexico, Mexicans, right? He started attacking them right away. Now, that is not to say that the Mexicans are not a prideful group, that are not strong, that are not powerful, that are afraid to stand up for themselves. However, sometimes you don't see a whole lot of fight back. And that has nothing to do with the people. It has a lot more to do with our fucking media ecosystem and things like that. But Donald Trump knew there would be no pushback on him. So very first thing he comes out and he starts talking about how the Mexicans are there's words I try to avoid so I don't get in trouble on here, my friends, but just they're bad people, right? And when people saw there was no pushback on it, Donald Trump demonstrated that he was just going to steamroll over groups of people. As a matter of fact, the media encouraged him. So now there was Donald Trump standing there with the media ecosystem on the right saying, holy shit, Donald Trump, champion of the people. But all he was doing was being a bully, right? And what I saw happen, my friends, was that bullying start to infect the brains of people. Yes, I believe that is Donald Trump's greatest asset, is that he is a fucking bully. Donald Trump, weak man though, very weak man. Uses scare tactics because he's your typical classic bully, right? There's nothing to him most of the time. Paper tigers, right? There's really nothing to him, but they use scare tactics to get people to fall in line. Have you guys ever seen that? I've seen it my whole life. Look, I don't tell you this to be a victim. I have been bullied my entire life, and I'm going to tell you straight up, I am fucking thankful for it. A lot of weaker-minded people would have fallen to it, would have gotten in line and did what they're told. The only reason I have the courage, my friends, to stand in front of you and make these videos that I do is because people fucked with me my entire life. Nothing actually bad happened. I learned that, right? Once you realize that their strategies are just meant to scare you and keep you in line, you become empowered, you know? It's a very nice fucking thing, right? But, that's a thing. You guys have seen it, right? When you were in school, maybe some guy will he'll find the weakest target he can find, and he will mercilessly bully the shit out of that person. Suddenly that bully makes a whole lot of friends, doesn't he? Yeah, he makes a whole lot of friends. You know why? We all know why. We know the answer. Because those very next, those new friends that he has, they just don't want to be the target. That's their only motive for wanting to go befriend that bully as quickly as possible. They do not want to be the target. Now, Donald Trump saw zero resistance, and he started to go more and more. He started to go after other groups, you know, the LGBTQ community. He started to go after the black community, anything he could go after, and he started to gain more and more momentum through that. I will tell you, it is my observation, and I can be wrong in my observations, but it is my observation that there were a lot of grown men in rural America, in the blue-collar world, that were actually starting to fear that they might be the next target. Now, maybe my assessment's absolutely fucking crazy, but nothing about that makes any fucking sense. All of a sudden, all the people from rural America, all the people from blue-collar America are suddenly gathering around a spoiled rich kid from New York City that doesn't know anything about our lifestyle, that doesn't know, you get the fucking point. Lazy fuck has never worked a day in his life, and suddenly all of us are running towards him. All it took, my friends, was the spark. That little spark. If you can get the biggest, dumbest idiot at your job to be like, hell yeah, Donald Trump, then all of a sudden you start to get people's attention. Because normally the biggest, dumbest idiot is the one that's ready to throw his weight around, ready to try to bully anytime he can. And I only say this because I saw it happen. I was working in the oil field. Yeah, believe it or not, I was in the oil field at one point in my life too, when Donald Trump ran the first time. And we had a big dumb idiot on our crew. And all he did his whole time we worked together was try to get everyone to fall in line and believe exactly what he believed at all times. Like I said, my assessments come from my life experience. I could be fucking wrong. I don't know. But big dumb idiot, all of a sudden one day out of nowhere, he was a Donald Trump fan. Right? And all he did was talk about Donald Trump nonstop. Everybody else on that crew was like, fuck Donald Trump, right? But this dude would not stop with Donald Trump to the point he would get aggressive. He would get in your face. He would yell at you about how good Donald Trump was. By the time I left that job, and we must have had like a 30-man crew out there. It was a lot of truck drivers hauling water, some big water hauling projects we had. I was the only one left standing that did not believe in the Donald Trump bullshit. Everybody was on the Trump train by the time I left. Every one of those men, every one of them was a big tough guy, right? Every one of those men that I worked with all fell in line with the one big dumb idiot that was telling everybody else what to think. And they were doing it maybe out of exhaustion, maybe they just didn't want to hear his shit anymore, but I think they were doing it to save their fucking necks, to make sure that they were on his side while he tried to bully his way through our entire company. And that's exactly the way I view this entire thing happening to rural blue-collar America. Hey, look, be mad if you want. I'm here standing proud. I am not ashamed of myself in any way for standing up for what I believe in, all right? Be mad that you fell in line with a guy that fucking does not have your interest in mind. Right? But the only thing that exists, the only thing even remotely close to a policy that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth that a lot of rural Americans see as a policy that benefits them is demonizing other groups and saying they are the problem, they are why you are broke. Now, we all know why we're broke. If we think about it for just a fucking minute, we should not live in a country with this huge income disparity. There shouldn't be an Elon Musk, a Jeff Bezos, a Mark Zuckerberg, even a Donald Trump. When we're all just slaving away every day, and maybe slaving was a strong word there, I get it. Don't crucify me in the fucking comments. I understand the difference. All right. Sometimes you gotta be careful. Get your head ripped off by your own side because you said a word a little bit wrong. That's not what I meant, okay? But we're out there working our asses off just to barely fucking get by. And we're enriching those people. And those people turn around and tell us, well, it's the brown people that caused your problem, because if they weren't picking the produce, then we would have to pay you a living wage to do it. And we can't do that, because now if we actually do it, now your cost of food is, you see how there's no solution? There's no possible solution. While I stack up mountains of money every day, there's no possible solution. The people causing our problems are the fucking billionaires. That includes Donald Trump. They are the reason that it's all like, I'm not a mathematician, but it's all mathematically figured out. What is the bare minimum we can pay the American citizens to give them the illusion that they're going to eventually live the American dream, and just keep them running on the treadmill until the day they die? How do we do that? And they figured it out. They got our fucking number on this one, my friends. It was never the Mexicans in the first place. As a matter of fact, if you have any sense in your head, the migrant workers have enriched our economy greatly. Without them, we would have probably collapsed fucking years ago. But the point I'm trying to make with all this, because I know I'm a little bit long-winded today, I understand. I get a little bit fired up, and I start going crazy a little bit. I truly do believe that it was that initial spark of bullying with almost no pushback on Donald Trump. And I watched it spread through blue-collar America. I watched it spread through trucking. You thought truckers were on the fucking Trump train when he came out? We didn't like that motherfucker even a little bit. And he hasn't said a useful thing that would make us like him. He's lied. He's lied to a whole lot of people about how he made things better. It's frustrating because we lived through it, and then we still find a way to say that it never happened, that Donald Trump made everything better. But the point I want to make is I am frustrated because I don't believe the people that told me a damn thing about what being masculine and masculinity and being a man, all those things are, because every bit of it at this point is completely fake. It's completely made up. On the right, it's all fake masculinity, right? The thing about how Democrats are a bunch of crybabies, right? Oh, Democrats are crybabies, aren't they? Are we? Are we? Because I'm seeing an awful lot of fucking crying coming from the right. You guys can't even lose an election without starting an insurrection. And let me put this in sports terms for you. Last week, my beloved Denver Broncos fell to the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round of the playoffs, the first time the Denver Broncos have made it to the playoffs in 9 years. I didn't like that. I want to see my Broncos go win, goddammit. You know what I didn't do? I didn't bitch. I didn't cry. I didn't start a fucking riot. I said, well, there's next year. Let's see what they do. There's a lot of sore losers in this country, right? A lot of sore fucking losers. I had somebody so weak-minded in my comment section earlier that that person, you may never be able to help them. They said it's because of people like me and my talking that causes them to vote for Donald Trump. What's a thing that Donald Trump does? Takes no accountability for his actions, right? See how that's trickling down through through MAGA? Now all of a sudden, this guy does not have to take any accountability whatsoever for his vote. He knows he made a bad decision. Of course he does. I think that deep down, most people know they made a bad decision. But they were peer pressured. They were bullied into voting for Trump. I absolutely 100% believe that. They didn't want to be the odd man out. I'll do it. I'll be the fucking odd man out. I always have been, baby. I ain't scared. I ain't fucking scared. Not even a little bit. Anyways, fuck, I've lost the point again. They know they made bad decisions. Of course they did. Now this guy wants to come to me and he wants to say it's because of the way you talk on the internet that forces me to vote for Donald Trump. No accountability whatsoever for their actions. So what we've got so far is being bullied and peer pressured into voting for Donald Trump because he has yet to say a useful thing to America at all. Not a fucking word that does anything good for anybody but him. And then we've got zero accountability for their actions. We've got crying when things don't go your way, up to and including starting an insurrection, right? And then we've got the abortion issue, my friends. They stop listening to the media. Listen, in the event that there is some woman out there that is just using abortions as birth control, I absolutely guarantee you she is the outlier. That is not the normal thing. Sorry to that guy that just got caught in the background of my video. Normally truckers don't walk around their truck. Sorry for him. I should have put my hand up or something and blocked him out. My fault. Oh well. Anyways, we've got all these fucking things. So women, right? There are so many reasons why they would even consider an abortion, right? And I bet it's a very traumatic experience. It's probably something that we as men can't even comprehend why they would go through that. And we've not me, but we as a society, not all of us, hear me out, have found a way to demonize women for going through a traumatic event. Now we're in a situation where if they live in a red state, they just die. Can you believe that? And this is another thing directly contradictory to what I was taught growing up. You don't stand by while your daughter or your wife or your girlfriend is under attack by someone. No, you handle that shit. You protect them at all costs. Look, something bad might happen to you, and that's okay. You put your ass on the line to protect them. We don't do that anymore? What the fuck are we doing? You've got to be shitting me. That's one of my biggest reasons for even making this channel. I'll be damned if I'm going to stand here and let the government steamroll my daughters. They didn't do anything. Are you out of your fucking mind? Now we don't even stand up for the women in our lives. We just let the government do whatever it wants to them. And all this fake masculinity on that side. Every bit of it's fake. Look, I know there's some crazy people on that side. Hell, there's some crazy people on our side too. Not the same though. I am not both sidesing that. That's a different kind of crazy over on the right. Now let me ask you something. When you see a man strapped with guns all over his back, he's got holsters all over him, just strapped with guns all over the place. Do you see a big strong man? I don't. I see a scared man. You're that scared to go out in public that you need to be strapped with guns everywhere like that? You look ridiculous. You look fucking ridiculous. When I put all these things together in my head, my friends, I don't see a single stitch or pixel or any small minor thing, an atom of masculinity. I don't see even a little bit of bravery. I don't even see a little bit of standing up for yourself. When you look at Donald Trump and you look at his supporters, all I see is a bunch of people that just fell in line for fear that if they didn't, something bad would happen to them. And that's not what the fuck America's about. We don't stand down. We don't bow. We don't move to the side so one man can run the country. That's not who we are. That's not who the fuck we are. And I don't see any bit of fucking masculinity come out of that. I don't see any bit of strength coming out of that. Sure, you could probably whip my ass. That doesn't make you stronger than me. That doesn't make you more masculine than me. I see, and maybe I'm out of line on this video, but I see a whole lot of people that were unwilling to stand up for themselves, unwilling to stand up for their family, including the women in their lives. And my God, where would we be without the ladies, right? Where would we be if we'd be doing a bunch of weird shit with each other? I'll tell you that right now. What was I doing? I got distracted. And won't stand up for their own country. Can you believe it? Won't stand up for their own country for fear of retribution, for fear that they'll be next. I got bad news with that. If Donald Trump actually wants to go full on crazy like he plans to do, he's not gonna spare you because you voted for him. He told you that. He said, I don't care about you, I just need your vote. And you still went and voted for him. My friends from rural America, blue collar world, I don't say any of this to attack you. I say this because it's time we got our heads out of our asses, all right? It's time we stand up for ourselves again and not fucking fall in line to a person that has clearly said that's what they want from you. And a person that has bullied their way through the entire system to get to that position. Because if he keeps going, ain't nobody's ass getting saved in this. And I just felt the need to say it. I don't see strength at all. I don't see masculinity at all. When I see a goofy MAGA hat on someone, all I see is a lemming that fell in line and did what he was told to do to save his own neck because he was worried that something would happen to him. I get to worry that things will happen to me too. I make these videos on the internet. But I ain't going out scared, my friends. That's it. Bye now.